Hey everybody, Chris here from It's Mead Made, and today is going to be a fun tutorial. I had somebody reach out to me on Instagram asking for a favor, so let's go find out what that is. So Chonky Monsters reached out to me today asking if I would help them with their latest Kickstarter. And if you're not familiar with Chonky Monsters, I actually already helped them out in their previous Kickstarter where they did Chonky Pokemon, and it was hilarious. They actually sent me a Charizard and a Lapras that were both chonky, and I went ahead and painted those. And if you missed that video, I'll put it right up here for you. So the one thing I do want to say is they did not pay me for this in any way. They just asked for a favor. So I highly encourage you guys to go check them out, because as of right now, when I just checked it, they're well above their goal for the campaign. So they're already going to meet it, which is awesome. And all I have to say is congratulations, Chonky Monsters. So they went ahead and sent me this Chonky Owlbear, and oh man, I honestly loved it. And to be honest, my wife was like, so are you printing that and painting it for me? Because she loved it too, because it's so dang cute. But yeah, so when the wife gets on board for me painting, I get on board for me painting. So I fired up the resin printer and I hit print. So without further ado, let's jump over to the table and get started on this owlbear. So the files came pre-supported, and I just had to throw it on my Anycubic Photon Printer and just print it and cure it. Once it was all cleaned up and cured, I went ahead and threw it in the spray booth and put on some Vallejo surface primer with my airbrush. Alright, so now I'm going to use this leather brown from the Army Painters War Paints. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to go underneath it to get some shading with this brown oak from the Army Painter. Then, when I'm done, I'm going to lightly dust the top of it with this tanned flesh, because it's a nice little brown, light brown that I think will mix well with the leather brown. So here we go. This is where I started doing the detailing, because I wanted to get some nice feathering around the face. And this is incredibly difficult to get that kind of precision, and it's a good thing I have a good airbrush to do it. Okay, so now we have him with the dark undertone, then the lighter highlight, and you can see the difference. Then I also did this lighter version. I basically took this and mixed it with a white ink and sprayed around here, and then I got the white ink and sprayed just around here, and that way I have that more of that owl look. And the next thing is I'm going to do a very light dry brush with this skeleton bone mixed in with a little bit of this brown fur. And I'm just going to do a dry brush all over him to really bring out some of the definition of these feathers. After I did the dry brush, I realized I need a little more definition, so I went ahead and got a strong tone ink wash from the Army Painter and kind of filled in some of those areas to get some more detail. Alright, so now I'm going to take this leather brown and a little bit of matte white. I'm going to bring in my wet palette and add a little bit here and add just a little bit of white on top of that. And I'm going to mix these together real good. Okay, now I'm just going to take the tip of my brush and start highlighting the edges of all of these feathers. Okay, so now I'm going to get his little wing tips. They got, you know, caught with the overspray, and I definitely want to have these darker, more like his eyebrows. So I'm just going to use the base color of a fur brown, and then we might do some highlighting with some other colors. Alright, so now I'm going to go back over it with some leather brown and leave some of the lighter spots. Okay, now the oak brown for the shading. Okay, so now I'm going to take care of the claws. And I am actually going to use this apple barrel gloss acrylic paint. I am just going to put a drop on my wet palette and just use it there. Alright, so now I'm going to use this sun yellow game color paint. And I'm going to be using this for the eyeballs. Alright, I'm going to mix in some of this lava orange and mix it with the yellow to create the beak. And there we go. Okay, so now back to the gloss black for the eyes. And there we go. Alright, so I'm going to let this dry, and then I will be doing the highlight on the eyes. So I'm just going to take some of this matte white and literally just a dot here. I don't need much. And all I'm going to do is get some on the tip. Literally just do a tiny highlight. And there we go. So it's looking like he's pretty much done, so let's go see what he looks like on the turntable. And I think he turned out awesome. He is super fun, super cute, and super chonky. But I'm going to enjoy him as much as I can before my wife steals him from me and just lives on her desk until, well, forever. So I just want to say thank you to Chonky Monsters for reaching out to me and giving me this opportunity. And remember, their Kickstarter page is in the description. And if it's after their campaign, I'll go ahead and replace it with a link where you can purchase their models. If you're into chonkiness, you'll definitely like their stuff. But if you're new to my channel and want to know how to paint, I actually have a tutorial series on how to start painting 3D prints. And I'll go ahead and put it right here for you. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Chonkiness. Is chonkiness a word? Chonkiness. Yeah, I think that's a word.